The Memphis Grizzlies are officially fried. They have lost their fourth straight game and the fourth straight loss under new coach Tomas Iasalo, and he has undergone a change for the better for Zach Edey. A lot of people complaining about Zach Edey's minutes, and he's progressed. He scored a double-double in the game, in the loss, I should say, against Golden State. Golden State with the 9-point victory, 134 to 125. Steph Curry going off for 52 points, 12 threes tonight. What's going on with Memphis, and have the fans, have they already checked out for this season? Jaren Jackson with the weird cryptic message from earlier in the week that we will go over. But what's going on, everybody? Jared Alator for another episode of Grizzlies Digest. If you find yourself here on a regular basis, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another upload from us. But going into the content right now, yeah, it was another 40-point first quarter from the opposing team. And of course, guess what else happened at the end of the first half? Another 70-plus performance for a Memphis opponent at the end of the first half. So this is obviously a problem, and this has been transpiring. This has been a thing for pretty much the beginning of the calendar year. It feels like Memphis got off to a really hot start. They're one of the hottest teams in the basketball world. But now, obviously, things have gone to rock bottom. They are on the brink of a play-in, of having to compete in a play-in game. They are right in front of Minnesota and the LA Clippers. Both of those teams, I should say, breathing on their backs right now. So Memphis, they really have to get it going. And I think Zach Edey is playing well. Like I said, he had a double-double, 10 points, 16 rebounds. I think that, Tomas has really kind of elevated his game for the better. I think a lot of fans were complaining about how Zach Edey was being held back. So that's a good thing. But what's not a good thing, is going back to this box score. Obviously, Ja Morant played his heart out tonight with 36 points. Jaren Jackson Jr. with 24, Desmond Bane with 19. Aldama with a great game with 18 points. Obviously, Scottie Pippen Jr., he's going to hustle. He scored 10 points tonight. So, what's going on with the rest of the team? I mean, I think that the coaching staff did what they needed to do in only playing about a 9-10 man rotation, because there were a lot of fans calling for no more than an 11-man rotation, so they kept it pretty consistent with the guys that they needed tonight. Obviously, you got Ja Morant doing Ja Morant things, but you need contribution from the others, and you haven't gotten that consistent contribution, whether it's been a 40-point game from Jaren Jackson or a 40-point game from Desmond Bane or a 40-point game from Ja Morant. You actually got a little bit more consistency in this game. But the only thing was they could not stop a guy called Steph Curry. And it ended up costing him, because they ended up giving him 40-plus points in the first quarter, 70-plus points in the first half. And with Steph Curry shooting and the way that he's able to hit daggers and hit heartbreaking shots, it really paid off for Golden State, and it really hurt Memphis in the long run. And then what's been going on with Luke Kennard? Luke Kennard, a lot of people complaining about Luke Kennard and his play, and there are obviously some games to where he looks like that consistent shooter. Did not look like that tonight. Only 3 points, 1 of 3 shooting the ball, all from three-point range, played 22 minutes. So, guy like Luke Kennard, you got to get more from him, no doubt about that. So, Drew Hill reporting, saying Grizzlies going to fall again, in very serious danger of having to play their way into the playoffs. Curry with 50, Morant with 36. Excellent game, not an excellent result for Memphis. So I think Memphis can score any way they want to. We've talked about this team, this offense. They can score at will. They can score whenever they need to at any point. But they, for the life of them, cannot play on the defensive end. And that's really what's been costing them this year. And you know how, and I'm going to bring up an example right now. You know how you're kind of flustered with some things, and you're a little bit tired of some things, but It's all up in here, and you've been building it all in, and you don't really want to announce what you're frustrated about, but you just can hold it in for so long that you have to say something at this point, even if it's a little cryptic and it doesn't make sense. Okay? That's what Jaren Jackson did earlier in the week. This is interesting. Jaren Jackson, to a reporter after the loss against Boston on Monday night, he goes, "It could always be worse. We could be homeless," Jaren Jackson Jr. said. So, yeah. You know what? I don't really know how to react to that. We're kind of doing this thing where our personalities reacting to sports and doing, post game reports and game breakdowns and all these great things, but I don't really know how to react to that. And you can put that in the comments too. I'll put another prompt in for you guys at the end of this video, but put that in the comments as to what you reacted whenever you heard Jaren Jackson Jr. say that. How did you react to that? Very interested to know that. But point of the matter is, the Grizzlies got to win ball games. There's no doubt about it. They're on one of the worst stretches in the NBA this season. A lot of non-Grizzly fans and even NBA media going, well, the Grizzlies are in the fifth seed in the Western Conference. They're 44-29. Why did they fire Taylor Jenkins? Well, if they haven't been watching this little mini collapse that's been going on for about over a month now, especially on the defensive side, if they can't for the life of them play defense to save their lives, it's almost like you haven't been watching Grizzlies basketball in order to kind of have that question. And that goes for the rest of the NBA media, because people that have watched Grizzlies basketball night in and night out, they've seen the collapse of this team, unfortunately. So we could see it coming from a mile away. Grizzlies fans probably thought that Taylor Jenkins was going to leave after the season ended. They did not think he was going to leave with 9 regular season games left. So obviously we had a video about that, about the breaking news. Told you to leave your comments in that video. Now, how do you feel that we have, a new guy with the helm at 4-0, or excuse me, at 0-4? 4-0 would be great right now. But they have the Miami Heat, Detroit Pistons, the Hornets, the Wolves, the Nuggets, and the Mavericks. So I think they could win 4 of those. I think they could go 4-2 for the next 6 games. Obviously, you never really know with this Memphis team. They could bring it with ease, or they could bring it with a back and forth 122-126 game going either way. But what do you think in the comments? I mean, have you already given up on this season? Because it feels like a lot of fans have. Jaren Jackson, by his body language, he kind of is already looking forward to the offseason. But the Grizzlies still have work to do. They still have playoffs coming up. They still have to play at least in the play-in. I can't believe we're even saying that. But they have to at least play for a shot to compete in the playoffs, because we know that, they're not going to fall to below 10. That's just impossible at this point. They're not going to be the Mavericks at this point. So, where do you think they end up? Have you already given up on the season? What do you think about Jaren Jackson Jr.'s comments? And what do the Grizzlies do? Jared Alator, thank you so much for another video. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.